all he does is win games.
All right, finally, we love the song, but now we have on the set a musical genius. So, John Legend, I want your reaction to the song. Does Skip have a future as a recording artist?
Oh man, I like that Jay-Z song, "Death of Auto Tune." we gotta
Spurned by this.
I got something that's gonna rival that later. No auto tune.
Rival it?
Wait a minute.
No,
top it?
no auto tune necessary.
Really?
Yeah.
Perhaps a song.
Yeah.
I believe in you.
We'll deal with that later.
I believe in you.
I would just like to preface it by saying, Peepo rhymes with Tebow. Peepo rhymes with Tebow.
Well, I think I know
That's
where you're going.
deep.
Yeah.
No, but I think I get the drift.
I know what song you're going to use.
I'm pretty sure I do. I'm pretty sure I know more than you do.
That right there, John, is a great tease. If you're watching at home, trust me, you do not want to go anywhere.
By the way, all
Okay.
he does is win. It's got Grammy potential. You heard that?
Yeah.
It's got buzz?
Yeah, that's what I'm hearing.
T-Pain already had that song?
No.
DJ Khaled.
Don't hold your breath
I hope
on
not.
that Grammy.
Battle.
I hope not.
Money on
Okay.
my
You saying we stole the hook?
Every time I step up in the building.
All right.
We didn't clear that.
Look, John, you were great in the meeting this morning about this whole Tim Tebow thing. Let's just do this. Let's start here. You tell Skip your problem with his take on Tim Tebow.
My problem is all this love and energy and passion you put on Tim Tebow because he wins some games.
Some.
And gets blown out on others.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're so skeptical about Aaron Rodgers, a 15-1 quarterback,
Yep.
Super Bowl champion. What standards are you judging these guys by? It's like you're grading on a curve. It's like when people evaluate Sarah Palin when she's debating. The expectations are so low that it's just awesome when she can form a sentence.
Just get away from him. Get away from him.
You're just giving him credit for forming a sentence sometimes, I feel like.
So you're saying I'm too harsh on Aaron Rodgers,
On
correct?
superstar, super talented, precise quarterbacks that win a lot of games, and then you praise Tebow, you bow at his
So in other words, you're saying he's inconsistent.
inconsistent and
phony.
Similar to the point from
And what?
before.
Phony.
And
Phony?
And when he
Because of the inconsistency.
and when he loses, it's always somebody else's fault.
Yes.
But when he wins, it's all Tebow.
Preach.
Inconsistent.
Preach.
Tell me when you're finished.
I'm done.
For now.
Heard that before, haven't you? Haven't you?
Here I go.
Watch your tongue. Be
Your
respectful.
operative phrase was Super Bowl champion Aaron Rodgers,
Yes,
correct?
absolutely.
So let's talk about degrees of difficulty. Let's go back to the 3 years Aaron Rodgers sat behind Brett Favre to learn the game, while Tim Tebow got 3 starts ahead of this year and then got demoted to 4th string during training camp and got no starts in the shortened preseason.
Why do
Am
you
I right?
think he was demoted? This is not just arbitrary.
Because he has
These
a
guys
couple
are
of fools with
these
other
guys are watching in practice.
Okay, here's the point. So let's go back now. Aaron Rodgers inherits a team that got within an overtime of a Super Bowl under Brett Favre.
Yeah.
And what did he do with that team the first year? He went 6-10.
Sure.
Did you hear me ripping Aaron Rodgers that year on this show? Not a peep. We barely talked about him.
But now
we
you rip
gave
him-
him a pass.
you rip him when he wins
gave him a
Super
pass.
Bowls.
Time out. So then in his second year, I love the Packers in his second year. I picked him to go to the Super Bowl. And in Aaron Rodgers' first ever playoff game, a game they were favored to win at Arizona against sort of a fading Kurt Warner's team, what happens? Aaron Rodgers makes a late blunder, and they lost a game they should have won, a game I picked them to win. Okay, then we go to the third year. They get hot late. They had kind of a mediocre year. They got hot late, got on a great run, and he won the Super Bowl. They were consensus picks this year to win it all. Did anybody not pick him? I don't know anybody who didn't pick Green Bay to
Well,
repeat.
especially once they started the way they started.
So consensus champs versus a team, Tebow's team, that started 1-4. It was a bad football team
Absolutely.
under Kyle Orton. Are you with me?
Absolutely, I agree.
Okay. They have below average weapons. They had a below average defense when he took over. And they went on a 7-8 run under a president and a head coach who inherited Tim Tebow and never really bought into Tim Tebow. You want to talk about degree of difficulty? That's why I defended Tim Tebow all that time.
Degree of difficulty, it's easier to win when your offense only has to score 13 or 17 points to win.
Okay, but against Pittsburgh, he had to throw for 316 yards to beat. Okay,
That's one game.
And
And
against
they got
the Bears,
routed by the Patriots.
against the Bears, he had to throw for 191 yards in the fourth quarter and
Bears
overtime.
have no quarterback.
Okay. Look, the degree of difficulty was still extreme for Tim Tebow with only 3 NFL starts, taking over with he's on a 1-game leash at that point. And he went to Miami and pulls it out at the last second, or I don't think he would have gotten a second start.
But if any of those teams are scoring 21, 24, 28 points, they lose.
The custodians could have pulled it out against the Dolphins.
Oh,
offense.
please,
They
that's
were
not
horrible.
They were not
horrible at the
You know what?
Come
After
on.
that game, they went on a run just about like the 7 of 8 run.
They are not in the playoffs.
Okay, but they went on a run. They're a pretty good football team.
Yes,
May I
please.
address this?
Yeah, try.
May I address this? No, I'm very serious. The fact of the matter is, it's quite annoying because the reality of the situation is your flagrant inconsistencies.
I'm
Let me
really
Let me speak. You just finished talking for 10 minutes. The point is, when this dude, when Tim Tebow, yeah, he did well against Chicago. Yeah, he did well against the Pittsburgh Steelers.
He did well against
There were
somebody. Yeah, he did well against San
games.
Diego.
You interrupted again.
I would-
There were a
come on.
plethora of games where he looked like absolute trash. And on top of that all, when he won and the defense played well, you said it was because of Tim Tebow. But when they lost, you said it was because of them. You are inconsistent and
I am not.
And you're flagrantly unfair because you find excuses to make for Tim Tebow. The concessions for mediocrity are beyond the pale. This dude was not ready. Aaron Rodgers
Was not ready to win 7 of 8 games?
He
That's
wasn't ready.
insane.
Let me tell you something.
I'm calling insanity.
You can call it whatever you want. The fact of the matter is this. You have a defense, the Denver Broncos defense. You never even took it. Now, this is football we're talking about, Joe.
Yes, sir.
Football. 45 to 50 to 53 minutes at times. This dude has stunk up the joint. The defense is on the field. They can't even get first downs half the time. The defense is out there playing their butts off, trying to hold down the fort to keep them in the game so Tim Tebow could be in position to come to rescue. You ignore that. They run the ball 50 times. You ignore that. We said, what did we say about Tim Tebow? We said, the boy can't throw yet. And we also
Baloney.
and we also questioned.
You said that. I didn't say that.
I know I said that. We also brought up, and you validated, the fact that his football IQ has come into question. So my point to you is this. When you have all of those things considered, how in God's name can you look at others? How can you not look at him and say, well, you know what? This dude wasn't ready. Wasn't ready.
Ready to win
Wasn't ready.
7 out of 8
Wasn't
games?
ready.
I actually agree with you to a degree that he was ready enough to play for that team at that time.
They were terrible.
Being a starting quarterback in the NFL, I mean, Rex Grossman's a starting quarterback in the NFL.
Did he win 7 of 8 this
The
year?
bar is not super high to be a starting quarterback.
Rex Grossman make
There's
the playoffs?
32 of these guys, and half of them are like, okay. You know?
Yeah.
So Tebow's good enough to be one of those.
Like where? Like in the last 5, bottom 5?
No, a little higher, because if he
Thank
can
you.
get you an 8-8 season or 9-7, then he's in the middle of the
Okay,
pack.
well, what you just said makes him dead wrong because he said from the start he's not a starting quarterback.
John Legend, Skip Bayless is absolutely right about that. I'm trying to be respectful to Tim Tebow, but I'm just being honest. I think he's the worst quarterback in the game. I think he's the worst. Not only that, I'm talking about.
I think he's the most underrated quarterback in the game.
Now, mind you, I'm not saying it'll stay that way. He's a hard worker.
Yeah.
He's a good kid. He's impossible to root against, and on top of it all, he's a guy that, he shows you his ability to just keep on plugging, persevering, and you got to believe that one day it'll get there. But right now, watching him this year, the boy couldn't throw the football.
Oh,
and what I'm saying to you is this: as a
That's just
quarterback,
flat out dead wrong.
No, listen, I'm not gonna argue about this with you anymore. I've got just you.
I didn't bring it up. He brought it up.
Listen, there
He started it.
There are potential Hall of Famers, Super Bowl champions, and other folks who have agreed with me who you have.
I don't care. They're all wrong.
I understand that. That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm not gonna argue with you.
I'm alone over here.
Let me finish. I'm not going to dispute that with you because I realize your position is that way with anybody. And I get it. I'm not taking it personally. All I'm saying to you is that to me and to those Super Bowl champions and potential future Hall of Famers, we don't believe that we saw somebody who could throw the football. It is that simple. And last time I checked, to play the quarterback position, you ain't supposed to be a running back behind center. You're supposed to be able to fling the football. And
honestly,
you, to me, ignore that.
Honestly, it doesn't matter to me that he's not the best thrower. It doesn't.
Matters to me.
If he wins the games, he can find somewhere to start in this league.
Matters to me.
So I'm fine.
I hope
with
it's
that.
somewhere
Why don't y'all
else.
put Willis McGahee behind center?
Yeah.
I'm fine with that. I'm fine with it. And, you know, if he doesn't win a Super Bowl, most of these guys are going to win a Super Bowl. So the guy deserves a chance to start. And, hey, this is entertainment. I'm an entertainer. I work in the marketing, music, entertainment business. And this guy sells seats, and he sells T-shirts, and he gets TV ratings.
Biggest draw in pro football this year.
So
Tim
if I'm
Tebow.
an NFL owner, somebody of the 32's got to take a bet on him and say, let the guy
You
start.
got that right. I hope it's the Jacksonville.
Can I ask y'all a
Jaguars.
question?
If he gets us 7
You've talked
wins,
enough.
8
I have a
wins,
question.
it's all
Y'all-
good.
Yeah.
Can I ask both of you a question?
Yeah.
What you just said. See, that's real nice and sweet. It's nice.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this question. If Tim Tebow doesn't have him pumping up Tim Tebow, if those Super Bowl champions, potential future Hall of Famers, aren't saying he can't throw, okay, then he doesn't have that attention coming to him. Is he still selling those seats?
The thing is, he earned that attention by winning 2 championships in Florida.
No.
Thank you.
Yes,
No,
no.
thank you.
No.
He came
Yeah.
into this league and was selling more
Yeah.
jerseys than anyone before he took a snap.
People were already excited about the kid when he came.
John Legend. John Legend.
That's the
There are people in college football coming into the NFL all the time that were champions.
Not with his profile.
Exactly. So my point to you is, what is his profile?
It's not Skip.
What's his
All-time
profile
high
coming
him
in?
up that makes him talked about.
Wait a minute. What made him talked about was the fact that when he was coming into the draft, people were saying he wasn't even a third-round pick.
That's what makes it interesting.
Tom, that's what I'm saying.
That's why he should start.
But I just asked the
Because
question.
People are paying attention.
But I just asked the question. If people were not critiquing him the way that they critiqued him, he wouldn't be that marketable. He's that marketable because people have been swearing he shouldn't be.
But that's
what happened.
That heightened
big
it, Stephen A. But there was
a big
a
if.
big base coming in.
The big base was we know he was a national champion at Florida. Nobody's questioning that. But what I'm saying is there are other champions that came into the
Stephen
NFL.
A., it goes further than that. He may have been the most prolific college player of all time.
Some people made the case he's the greatest college player.
Y'all need to stop me. Because
Stephen A.,
I
look
thought
at
this
the
was
resume.
first take. I
Look at the
thought this
resume,
was
though.
about being real. We know that one of the biggest reasons coming out of college why Tim Tebow was so renowned was because he wore his religion on his sleeve. He had that
Part of it.
support.
No, he was a winner.
And he won 2 championships.
I've never questioned whether he was a winner. Now, I've never once done that. What I said was, in terms of the hype, the marketing, and all of that stuff, you had a different segment of this population that never ingratiates itself into the sports world, suddenly doing just that to push and push and push this guy. As a result, you had others who repelled and said, wait a minute, he can't throw, and that contributed to his marketing. If that
Whatever-
wasn't happening, he's just another dude
Whatever
coming out of
It's
college.
all part of it.
It's just another dude.
Whatever contributed it, it's here.
Yes, it is.
He is a phenomenon.
Okay.
And that is reason enough for an owner to take a risk on this guy.
Thank you.
Especially when the guy got the team to the playoffs. this
John,
year.
are you more
Talking
on
business.
Are you more with Stephen A. on Tebow or more with Skip?
I think Skip overrates Tebow, and I think he applies standards that are not consistent with how he evaluates other quarterbacks.
Okay.
However, I do think that Tebow should start in the league for all the reasons I've already said.
Yeah.
That he won some games, and he's freaking marketable.
So
Yeah.
you're on my side more than
It sounds like you're more with Skip than Stephen A.
Say it.
No,
Admit
y'all
it.
are wrong.
Admit
No,
it.
Y'all are
You ain't
misrepresenting.
let John Legend
But
speak.
y'all are
You wanna get into
misrepresenting
it.
my position. I never said that. What I said.
You said he was garbage.
I said that's right. But I understand that. But I also said, quote, it's business. If he's going to sell seats, he doesn't deserve to be a starting quarterback. It should have never happened. But remember, you asked the question, what do the Denver Broncos do next year? They have no choice.
Yes, they
have no,
do.
No,
They
they
had-
don't have no
they
choice.
did the same thing
Okay, they don't
last
have a
year.
choice.
I want 2 phrases that you each used. You said he's the most underrated quarterback. You said he's the worst quarterback.
Right now, he's the
Which
worst
one
quarterback in the NFL.
more closely describes your feelings?
I think he is in the bottom half of quarterbacks.
So you're on my side.
No.
Underrated. I don't know what your underrated means. What is he?
Okay, he was the biggest reason a 1-4 team went to the playoffs. The biggest by far. And you underestimate, he turned that rush offense with a recycled Willis McGahee into the #1 rushing offense in the league, which means that he gets on his resume. He can run the ball the way a lot of quarterbacks can't
Tim
run the ball.
Tebow has a bright future. He's the worst quarterback in the league right now.
All right. We're not going to find common ground, so we're going to change topics.
A bunch of phony baloney, that
That's
statement.
yours.
Next up.